We are with Reverend Billy Fox. He runs the Panama Rescue Mission, which houses 1 out of 4 as a veteran. Reverend Billy Fox is going to tell us more about the place and what they need right now.
Well, the Rescue Mission has been around about 39 years, serving the homeless in Bay County, actually about 5-county area. And right now, we're about 25% of the people who stay here right now are sleeping on the floor, just because of the cold weather, the bad economy. It's so very hard for people to find jobs. In amongst that, we find 1 in 4 of the men are military veterans. 1 in 3 of them are Gulf War veterans. So it's not hard for us to find someone who's been to Afghanistan or the Gulf War. They've come back, and what I say is that that war stole their souls, and they're just roaming the streets. They're heartbroken. They've left their families because they know they're hard to get along with, and so they end up here on the streets. And we're trying to address that as a particular program. We have several of the men in our long-range recovery program because usually drugs and alcohol are involved, as well as a lot of depression, post-traumatic syndrome. So they're a unique group amongst our group that needs special attention, and frankly, they deserve special attention. They are our heroes. And you know, when people here in Panama City see somebody walking down the street and they have a criticism that they look homeless, that they might be vagrant, 1 in 3 of them could be an Afghan war hero. And many of them are heroes. Many of them took lives, took bullets, saw dear friends, comrades blown up. And that plays very hard on their emotions, plays hard on their spirit, and we're here to help them recapture their soul and help them get back into their life again.
That is beautiful. That's beautiful you do that. Now, you had mentioned to me that there's something new that's going to be going on. You're trying to get some new housing or something?
Well, what we want to do is we're trying to do a lot of moving around and move our women and children out of this building here into, we have a women's recovery program. So the woman that is a veteran here, we could put her in our recovery program right now. We just don't have a women's veterans program.
And what percentage of women, of the women, are women veterans?
It's a small percentage, but it's becoming more and more. When at Veterans Day, we did a celebration and kind of pinned a ribbon on all of our veterans that were here at the mission. And that was about 47 people, and 3 of them were women. So is that less than 10%?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Less, probably 5%.
Right. Okay.
Or less. And it's rare. It's not. We don't have them all the time, but they are showing up more and more.
Well, you know, do you find that women veterans are, like, let's say, the forgotten part of the veterans opposed to the men?
Yeah, they are.
How do you feel women veterans are getting treated opposed to men veterans? Do you feel it's equal treatment once you get home?
Women veterans today are kind of like in the background because, of course, it's male dominated, and it's like we're forgotten, or we don't come to mind as much as a male because of the male domination.
And how's that affected you, you think, personally?
It's made it difficult.
Do you think that...
And the longer you stay out of the military, the more the economy is going to affect your way of survival.
Do you think if you did the same exact thing, but your gender was different, you were a male, do you think right now you'd still be in the same situation?
Not necessarily. I would like to address the rescue mission here. They do help people when they need a place to stay. They do provide the meals. They give you a place to shower.
Where do you see yourself being in the next year? Well, I'd like to be.
I hope to have some kind of income, definite income.
Yeah, our structure here is that we try to match any effort any individual puts out. You know, so if they put out some effort getting a job, getting their benefit, we'll put every effort we can into that. If they make no effort, then we don't have, you know, there's nothing to match.
Right. What would
And
you
so-
say your top 3 needs are right now? If we were to go, and we were to go on the air tomorrow morning, and we were going to mention what you guys need right now, from 1 to 3, and in that order, of 1 being the most important, what are the top 3 things that you would like the public maybe to start to get involved with here?
Well, it really is, a lot of it is mentoring. If you're talking about really the veterans or any of them, we need more space in order to expand and get more segmented in our population, because getting a job or getting a home does not solve homelessness. It gives them a house, but if they're struggling, they're having substance abuse problems, they have some mental illness or deep depressions and things like that, they just turn around and come back. And I need individuals, and we're doing more and more where we're getting personal mentors who are coming in and saying, I'll take on this young lady that we're talking about that's a veteran.
Sort of a
I'll be
sponsor.
her, yeah, and I'll be her buddy. And we've got some GIs that come down here and just hook on to, you know, they're retired guys. We have a lot of those here in Panama City area. And they'll just come down and say, I want to be this guy's buddy, and encourage him to get the help he needs.
I love that.
And that's really more of what we need. We served yesterday 750 meals in a day.
And where do you get the financing for that?
Well,
Is it government?
I'll tell you the average last year at this time was 450.
Wow.
So we're up
Wow.
almost 80%.
Wow.
And we are 100% funded by the community. We do not receive
Oh,
any-
really?
no government support whatsoever. We don't have anything from the city, state, federal government, and we want to stabilize them so that those resources that are government funding works for them.
Right.
If they're not stabilized, if they don't feel like they got enough to keep them going, they'll end up right back in the midst of the world and the degradation that they found themselves
Sure.
in. They really will. You know, typically we can deal with 1,000 homeless people. You know, 12% of them will be what you would consider
Right.
a street vagrant. The rest are families, they're young men, they're these GIs, they're people who've lost their job, and yeah, they drink too much, but they're not really severe drug addicts or anything. They didn't handle their life right, and, you know, and things happen to them, but now that they're trying to get back on their feet, there's no jobs around town for them. So it's really tough to move people out of here. So while they're waiting, we want to get them more programmatic. Let's start working on some of your attitudes and your struggles. And my wife and I have been doing this for 25 years.
God bless you.
We've been, you know, 5 different major cities, including Washington, D.C. So we kind of have a little experience at this, you know. And so we've learned what is really needed. And I really wished if it was houses and jobs. We got houses and they can find jobs, but they can't stay stable. There's too many problems in their life. You hit homeless, you've got a lot to solve.